the entire road I with the stone in the morning. Oh, Mary, the entire road I with the stone in the morning. In the morning, in the morning, the entire road I with the stone in the morning. Oh, Mary, I am to that betrayed. Oh, the entire road I with the stone in the morning. Oh, I am to that betrayed. The entire road I with the stone in the morning. Oh, Mary, we the entire road I with the stone in the morning. The entire road I with the stone in the morning. The entire road I with the stone in the morning. The entire road I with the stone in the the entire road I with the stone in the morning. Oh, Mary, the entire road I with the stone in the morning. In the morning, in the morning, the entire road I with the stone in the morning. Oh, Mary, I am to that betrayed. Oh, the entire road I with the stone in the morning. Oh, I am to that betrayed. The entire road I with the stone in the morning. Oh, Mary, we the entire road I with the stone in the morning. The entire road I with the stone in the morning. The entire road I with the stone in the morning. The entire road I with the stone in the only a believer. But to me, a promise me,
promise me,
you're gonna hold my
you're gonna hold my hand.
believer,
believer, show me the plan. I say a pleasant good night to my family in Christ. Pleasant good night to all of you joining us tonight, whether on Facebook, on YouTube. I want to say a pleasant good night to each and every one of you. I hope that, you had a wonderful day. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And I hope that, all is well with you wherever you may be. I hope the rain didn't wash each and every one away. I know that, we had some rainy weather last week, but I really do hope and pray that, everyone is safe and sound in our name, but in Jesus' almighty name. So once again, welcome. My name is Christian Dalrymple, and I want to say, thank you for joining us this afternoon. And I pray that, this evening as we sit and talk for a while, that we are able to get a better understanding of each other. This segment is called, Baptist Building Business. And due to circumstances, we had to reschedule our guest for tonight. However, I still deemed it prudent that I still come and, interact with you. And I say, what better way to interact with you than to give you information of myself as a business owner and as a spiritual Baptist as well. I want to say a pleasant good afternoon to a pleasant good night to Sister Andrea Gray. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Blessings to you this afternoon. I hope that all is well with you in all name, but in Jesus' almighty name. So as I said, guys, I want to just interact with you this afternoon, telling you a little bit about myself as well as the businesses that I interact with, me of myself as a business owner thus far. However, with all this interaction, I would also, like to get some feedback from you guys. Those of you who have been following the page for a while, those of you who have, been subscribing, those who have tuned in to all the lives, who check out all the memory verses on a morning, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section as we, interact a little this afternoon. You all will be my hosts, and I am your guest on today's program. So, feel free to post your questions in the comment section, and I will do my best to answer any and all questions as God sees fit, and all to his honor and to his glory. Pleasant good afternoon to Sister Valerie Fletcher. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Blessings to you. So a little bit about myself. My name is Christian Dalrymple. I worship at St. John's Spiritual Baptist Church, located in Reed Lane, Darbody. That's just outside of Arima, for those who know where Arima. And for those who don't know, I know most persons will know the name Arima. So that's just outside of Arima. We are a Sabbath keeping congregation, so that means we have service on a Saturday morning. I have been in business or in engaging in business for a number of years, basically since I would have been in school. To go back there, actually, I remember back in those days, my mom would be making red mango, and she would give us the red mango to sell when we go to school. And one thing that I learned from doing business even back then, if you have to take goods from your business, you pay for it. Wherever you may be taking for self-use, feel free to pay for it as well, because you are purchasing from yourself, and that is the best way to build business, purchase from yourself as well. So back in those days, as I said, I used to sell red mango in school to my fellow classmates, anyone who have been interested. And I believe that is where my business exposure would have begun back in secondary school days. Moving up through the years, I have done a barbecue. I also would have started my own network marketing business um, back in 2007. I'm still a part of it to some extent. And, over the years, business has evolved in different ways, shapes, and forms. Let me say pleasant good night to Sister Celtia Simon. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Pleasant good afternoon as well to, I see we have one of my newfound friends, and I must say I'm glad that I made this friend in Sister Victoria. Pleasant good afternoon. Yes, pay for it. And there's something that most persons don't do when we in business. We have a tendency that we give our friends and family stuff for free, or we give ourselves stuff for free instead of paying for it. But paying for it also shows a method of accountability, and you are accountable for the products that you have, and you are willing to pay for it. If you are not willing to pay for it as a business owner, then why should anybody else pay for it? Food for thought. So, coming through the years, I would have done my network marketing business, and I would say that I have learned a substantial amount of information from doing network marketing in terms of how to conduct business, why most persons open business, etc. And that has resulted in me, through COVID, I must add, in and also even before COVID, in assisting, not assisting, but opening my own business, starting my own business. So one of the businesses that I engage in on a part-time basis is CJ's Lawn Maintenance Services, where I do lawn maintenance work for some of my friends and persons who are in need of getting their lawn maintained. Let me give you a little background on how this business got started. So just before COVID, or around the time COVID was coming to Trinidad, not yet fully here, I had a friend who was in a financial predicament, and she contacted me, and well, not contacted me actually. She had it up on her status on WhatsApp that she was selling some grass cutting equipment. And I decided to purchase it from her, not because I wanted to start a business, but because she needed the financial assistance. And I thought, you know what, there's not a bad idea. Let me help out. So I bought the equipment from her. And then in having equipment, there's like, well, now I can cut my own yard because I have a lawn in my yard. And then I decided, I could also start a business based on the fact that, I have this piece of equipment. It don't make sense. I just have it sit down here. I could do something with it as well. So hence, as a result, I started contacting a couple of my friends to be able to do lawn maintenance for them. So what I realized from that was, as much as I was starting a business, it was based on the fact that here it is, I was trying to assist a friend because she was in a predicament. And COVID came in, cutting grass intermediary, can't really go out as much because, we were under lockdown. And then, started planting little gardens, everybody experimenting with their own home garden. So I as well, started my own little home garden. And one or two persons contacted me saying, Kristen, I'm having problems with my garden, but I see yours looking good. Could you assist? And then another business was born. I started a kitchen garden initiation project where I assisted persons in starting their own garden. So I purchased barrels, the plastic barrels, and I cut them, I punched the holes, I got the dirt, and I got the seedlings, and transported it to their homes and set up their kitchen garden, whereby all they had to do was water it in the morning and water it in the afternoon. Uh, and this, as I say, I realize that my calling per se is not for myself, but in service of others. So after this, I have now ventured into my latest endeavor, in which I currently run Spiritual Baptist Radio. And for those of you who may not have heard this story, starting Spiritual Baptist Radio was not the initial idea. The initial idea was going to run a day, going to exercise. And while exercising, is like I find myself bringing adoption, because we know Spiritual Baptist, we have plenty rhythm. And I find myself bringing adoption, and I'm saying, how come we don't have more Spiritual Baptist music recorded whereby persons can exercise to music, where you can have it on your phone like how you would have any other song on our phone? And I started doing a little research on it, and I came across as well a online radio station by the name of GMGT, Good Music, Good Times, where they stream. And from interacting with them and being a part of their live stream, I got the idea to do something similar for the Spiritual Baptist community. And I say for the Spiritual Baptist community because over the years growing up, living in a Baptist home, you hear the radio on 94.1, 98.1, and now we know we have more gospel stations as time has elapsed. However, we as the Spiritual Baptist community did not have anything to call our own, and not all the other radio stations are particular to entertain us in terms of us having a program on their platforms. I remember back in the days there was a program on 7:30 radio as well, where persons would have a Baptist program, and it was once a week. So my thought of initializing this platform called Spiritual Baptist Radio is basically to be able to facilitate and assist the Spiritual Baptist community in having a platform whereby anyone, anywhere can be able to utilize it, and we be able to engage with each other and learn about each other more, where persons could come to one place and say, you know what, this is our own. This is Spiritual Baptist Radio. I can tune in here and I can hear Spiritual Baptist music at any time. I can hear Spiritual Baptist preaching at any time. I can see any content that may be related to Spiritual Baptist, whether it be highly spiritual or even theoretical, in terms of being able to learn about the faith. And that's why I would have initiated this project of Spiritual Baptist Radio. Spiritual Baptist Radio has been in operation since September of 2021, September the 24th to be exact. And so far, we have not grown exponentially, but we have grown in terms of some of the services that we are able to provide and some of the things that we are able to do. Pleasant good night to Sister Lisha James. Blessings. So, at Spiritual Baptist Radio, we are currently providing services where we do graphic designs, we do live streams of services, and we also share different content from other persons or other churches in terms of what they do as well. So, for example, on Sunday mornings, you have different churches that may have live streams. At times, I would share the link to those live streams so that persons will be able to participate. Or if there are special functions that a church may have, I would share that content back as well, so persons will be able to view it. As I said, the aim is so that persons will have somewhere that they can go to find Spiritual Baptist content, and that is the main aim. Somewhere that all Spiritual Baptists can go and feel welcome, and we can, have something to call our own. And I say a pleasant good night to Brother Damian Phillip. Thank you for joining us. He was our guest last week. So, as I said, guys, feel free to put your comments and your questions in the comment section. Tonight, I am the guest tonight and you all are the host. So feel free to ask any questions that you wish um, as we go along this afternoon. So, just to share what Brother Damon says, he says, great story. Sometimes we have to know where we start. We may not always know where we will end up. So true. I have never been one for the spotlight, to be very honest. I know I've said this time and time again. I prefer a background role. I prefer to facilitate other persons. However, God in his infinite wisdom decided that, Kristen, I need you to step out, you know, be more in front. And when I look at my life growing up over the years, I've found myself in different situations where I may not have been the leader of choice. I may not have been the person that was voted in to be the leader. May not be the popular vote. However, when things start to go awry, the inspiration comes, or God comes to me and says, okay, this is where I need you to step in and take charge and fix whatever may need fixing. So, as much as I may want to be in the back, as much as that may be where I prefer to be, when you have a gift, when God gives you a talent, you have to utilize it. You should utilize it. And I thank God for being able to utilize the talents that He has given me thus far, being able to assist others, because I really see myself as a facilitator. So this platform and even most things that I do in my life, I find more motivation in being able to assist others as opposed to trying to do something for self-gain. If I do try to do something for self-gain, it doesn't really work out the way it should. So, I thank God for being that person who is a little more selfless in being able to help other persons. I want to say a pleasant good night to Sister Bernadette Hines. Thank you for joining us tonight. Blessings to you. Pleasant good night as well to Sister Sheila Mitchell. Blessings to you as well. So, yes, guys, feel free to put your questions in the comment section. If you have any questions about the Spiritual Baptist Radio platform, if you have any questions about that you would like to pose to me as well, you can put all your questions in the comment section. So, share a little bit more about me. I have been a Spiritual Baptist since in my mother's belly. So since in mommy belly, I have been going to church, and there are times that I would not have been in church due to work. Sometimes work was the excuse not to go to church. And you have to be honest with yourself. There are times that I did use working as an excuse not to go to church, because sometimes you see things in church and you tell yourself, better I don't go, better I stay home. But as the Bible tells us, forsake not the gathering of ourselves. We say there's strength in numbers, and we know all the good quotes. But the reality is, anywhere you go, any church that you go, there's going to be some bad and some good, because they are persons. As we say, the church is a hospital, the church is a clinic, the church is a school, the church is everything. So the people that you meet, they are not going to be 100% whole. They're not going to be 100% well. They are persons who are going to grow as well, and everyone needs to grow. And we need to be able to understand that everyone is there to grow. So I have been in church, as I said, since small. I'd have been in and out at one point, but now, due to, once again, God saying it is time, that I have now been a lot more consistent, not just with attending, but also being a part of the church in terms of having an active role. So a couple of years back, my role in church was just recording. So I'm in church, I would beat drums because I love beating drum. And I would also record the services and try to post the preaching part onto our church platform. However, due to challenges in being able to upload the videos, we started live streaming our services, and then I was the one doing the live streaming. And we still do live stream our services, but that was as far as my active role was in the church. And as I said, due to God's inspiration, I am now holding an even more active role where I am one of the shepherds in the church. And I continue to do as God bids as much as I can. We say you don't want to put your hand to the plow and then pull it back. So I ask God for all the strength and the spirit of endurance to be able to endure to the very end, because endurance is the key. We ought to be able to last till the end. Pleasant good night to, I do not know if this is Sister Ingrid Isaac. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night to Sister Cheryl Rodney. You're welcome, by the way, Isaac. Pleasant good night to Brother Jeremiah. Pleasant good night, Mother Anna. We have a question here from Sister Avenel Franklin, one of our guests. Have you ever felt enticed to try other religions due to the fact that the spiritual Baptist is all you would have known? I like this question. So before I answer this question, let me just say pleasant good night to Sister Rudy, Miss Rudy, Sister Ruth. All right, so back to this question. I like this question. Have I ever felt enticed to try other religions? Short answer, no. Because let me use a biblical explanation. Adam was created and Adam was in the garden. Adam had no idea of what it felt like to be alone because he never knew companionship. And when you're never exposed to something else, there's no reason to long for something else. So I didn't really long for to be a part of another religion. However, because of the fact that certain persons in my family and in the school that I would have gone to in primary school, I was exposed to different religions. And what I did appreciate is that in each religion, I can see what their strength is, so to speak. So you look at Jehovah Witness and you see that they are always out there. They are persistent. They are determined to reach persons even in their homes. And we all know how the Jehovah Witness community is. When I look at the Seventh-day Adventist community, I look at them and I realize they are very knowledgeable. They do a lot of reading. They do a lot of research. They are very intellectual in their biblical studies. You look at the Pentecostal and they are very high on worship. So when you look at all the religions, you see that they all have their strength. And to me, it don't make sense I leave my religion to go to someone else's own, because they also have their weaknesses. So I love my religion. I love the spiritual Baptist faith. And to me, I think the best thing that we can do is incorporate the strengths of the other religious sects into our own, that we'll be able to continue to grow. And one thing that I would highlight, and this is from a non-Christian religion, which is the Muslim or the Islamic community, is that when you speak to a devout Muslim, they are able to quote not just the Quran, but they are also able to quote the Bible, because they want to be able to reach you at your point wherever you are. They want to make sure that they understand you and they know whatever counter arguments you may want to give to them. And I think this is something that we have as Christians and the spiritual Baptist community can look at and improve on, where we understand fully the persons that we are trying to reach. Because when you're trying to reach persons from different religions, you can't just go and tell them, well, your religion is not the true religion. You need to be a Christian. You need to know something about what they're doing. You need to know what they're involved with to reach them where they could fully understand one from the next. If we look at all the great preachers that we speak about in New Testament, men like Paul, who a lot of persons love, Paul was a Roman. He knew exactly what the other side gives. So he knew when he came across the Christianity, what exactly he needed to say to reach to those other persons. So, I pray that, we as the Spiritual Baptist Faith continue to grow. I know we have schools now that and different archdioceses that help educate the youngsters so that we are a little more equipped, and not just the young, but even those who are ageable, so that they are a little more equipped, not just in the biblical aspect, but also in knowing the history of the Spiritual Baptist faith. Pleasant good night to Sister Lisa Martin. Thank you for joining us tonight. Pleasant good night as well to Sister Patricia Alfred. So feel free to post your questions, guys. As I said, I am your guest for this afternoon. So feel free to post your questions, whether you're joining us on Facebook or on YouTube. And yes, guys, we do stream live on Facebook and on YouTube, because not everybody is on Facebook. But YouTube, however, is easily accessible, so persons can go onto YouTube without having to create a profile. So hence the reason why we also stream to YouTube as well. So going back to the questions that I would have been asking our guests so far, one of the questions was, how do you deal with fear and doubt? So with me, dealing with fear and doubt is a challenge, because it is always easier to motivate other persons. It's always easier to see the good in what other persons do and what they want to accomplish and what they're striving for. But it's not always easy to see it with yourself, within yourself sometimes. And I think that is where my fear and my doubt comes in, in always second guessing myself, wondering if it is that I am doing the best that I can. Am I falling short? Am I being a good example? Because I'm one who advocates highly for Psalm 1. I don't know how many people know it. I know some persons know it by heart, but I know for me, it is something that I have always advocated for, even before I am at the point that I am now in church, because I always believe that persons have a tendency, wherever they see you, no matter who you are, they would remember you. They're going to judge you based on whatever they see you do. And sometimes these things cause even more fear, and because you're more skeptical of doing anything, because you're wondering what the next person going to say, what they go think, what they go do, who they go tell. And that was not easy to overcome, especially for me sitting down in front of a camera and speaking to persons who I'm not seeing. Because the trick with speaking to people who you are not seeing is, everybody knows your face, but you don't know theirs. So they can spot you a mile away, especially when you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. So I think that is one of my fears, one of the things that create doubt within me. But through the grace of God, I've been able to still endeavor on and not let it be a hindrance, because I am doing my best to do what God would have me to do in the way that He would have me to do it. So, the best way to overcome fear, is, there's an acronym for fear where it says is face everything and rise. So, you have to face it. Face whatever your challenge may be. The only way to overcome your fear is to face it. And my fear of speaking to people, of interacting with people, because I'm not always the most interactive with persons, this is one way of me overcoming my fears. I see Brother Jeremiah has a question. When is the next in-person live stream? Brother Jeremiah, care to elaborate? I don't know if you're speaking about the expo, because I know we would have done an expo in last year. We would have done an expo for our first anniversary, which was the September the 24th last year. And we also did one, excuse me, around, I believe it would have been the first week in April last year as well, where we did an well, not expo, sorry, but our Baptist music explosion. So all things being equal by the grace of God, this year, again for our anniversary, we would be doing another business expo as well as a music explosion where persons will come and be able to sing and perform, and as we lift up the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So, Brother Jeremiah, just clarify for me if it's that you're referring to. Note as well that, as time goes by, it is possible that we'll be doing other things. Some things jump up spur at the moment. So anything is possible as long as it's work for our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Okay, so he is referring to any programs that I broadcast. Okay, so I know that we have one program in the works, which would be just over a month from now, where we are working on a praise at midnight, which will be done live. However, the details are not yet concrete, but persons can look out for that. We'll be doing a praise at midnight session. It will be done live so that we will be having a live in-house interaction with persons where we will be streaming live on all platforms, as I indicated previously. So you can look out for that. Anyone who will be interested in being a part of that can message the radio station number. That is 764-6703, 764-6703. You can message us if you'll be interested in being a part of that program. Please note as well that if you are interested in having even a program on Spiritual Baptist Radio, you can feel free to contact us as well. We are also open into having other programs on Spiritual Baptist Radio, because the aim is to grow the radio station. Which takes me to my next question from Sister Avanel. What are some of the challenges you experience starting Spiritual Radio? So, biggest challenge starting Spiritual Baptist Radio was not the money. Not that I was rich, not that I had money put down, but one of the biggest things that I saw as a challenge is my Spiritual Baptist network. My Spiritual Baptist network is not extensive. Persons may know me, know of my brother, who is Brother Jeremiah, or they know my mom. Some may even know my sister to some extent. However, I am the social recluse. Even if I go out, I am still one who is in the background, so I'm never really in the front line. But I know most persons would know my brother as well, because he also used to do live streams in Proud to be a Spiritual Baptist group on Facebook. So my biggest challenge was that I did not have that social network, and even now it is still somewhat of a challenge in terms of linking up with other Spiritual Baptists and being able to grow the radio station in the initial speed that I thought it would have grown in. However, from that challenge and that obstacle, I have had conversations with God, and I'm going to be very honest. And there are times where I sit and I wonder, Lord, am I really doing what it is you asked me to do? Is this really your desire? Because I look around and I look at the challenges, in terms of sometimes they contact persons and persons say, well, I'm interested in having a program. And when they follow up, the response not as enthusiastic anymore. Person's busy, life happens. So I think my biggest challenge was working around that, and how I have worked around that is that I continue to do my part, my portion, so that as much as possible, my program that I would have started initially, which was Sabbath school on a Saturday afternoon, as long as I do not have any function that I'm invited to in terms of Thanksgivings or other services, I do my best to make sure that I continue my program on a Saturday afternoon. I also have my brother who would have started Praise at Midnight, which is on a Friday night. That's from 11 in the night. He also does that program as well. So we have that. And as of recent, the initial or the pilot episode of this Baptist building business was done back in January with Sister Victoria Frederick, who has a group called While We Wait, which is a group that helps persons who are in that waiting period of their life to understand and know how to go through that waiting period, and they have the support of other persons in terms of going through that waiting period, whether it be celibacy or such. That group is there to provide that support. So she was the first person, or our first episode in Baptist Building Business, which was in January. And then last month, after some networking and trying to contact different persons, we started back the program, and we did one episode with Sister Avenel Franklin, who is whose business is Yava. And then last week we would have interviewed Brother Damian Phillip, who is an artist and musician. And we have some other persons coming on the program during the course of this month who would also be who are also in different fields. So persons would have a little taste or a little info on different persons in different fields and what they do. So I hope that answers your question, Sister Avenel. I think one other challenge that I currently experience, but I know it's temporary in terms of as time goes by, it would change, is that at present I am technically a one-man show. So I do the graphic work, I do the programs, I do the producing, I should say, which is if I'm working just behind the scenes. So it's only me alone. At times there's my brother Jeremiah. Um, if he's available, he may assist in the producing or the background work in some of the programs as well. So for now, it's me alone. However, I know as time progresses, the network on the persons or the staff would grow as the programs grow on the station, because where for now we may just be doing 3 programs to the week. Eventually, Spiritual Baptist Radio is going to be a 24/7 station, and it's not just going to be on Facebook or on YouTube. It's also going to have a fixed radio station on the radio station dial or on our radio station dials here locally, as well as we would eventually have our own website where persons will be able to get additional information on the radio station as well as the Spiritual Baptist community. So that would answer the question, one of the other questions that I have here, knowing where do you see your business in 5 years or 10 years? So in 5 to 10 years from now, I see Spiritual Baptist Radio as being a pillar in the Spiritual Baptist community where persons will be able to go to get additional information, whether it be weather, whether it be sports, whatever it may be, whatever we have going on in the Spiritual Baptist fraternity, persons will be able to come to this single point and get any information they may need, whether it is where schools are located, how much is school fees, when school semester starting, how to register, they can come here and get that information. And I look forward to the challenge going forward in terms of being able to produce the content and the information that the Spiritual Baptist community desires. And with me saying that, let me just put in here one time. I would like suggestions from those of you who are currently viewing or those who may see this program on the replay. Send me your suggestions to programs that you would like to see on Spiritual Baptist Radio. As I said, you can either put it in the comment section, you can send it to us via email, or you can even send it to us via WhatsApp at 7646703. What sort of programs would you like to see in the near future, as well as even in the further future on Spiritual Baptist Radio? I want to say a pleasant good night to Sister Latoya Smithy. Pleasant good night to Brother Chester Dalrymple. Pleasant good night as well to Sister Candice Riley. And as I said, thank you for joining us this afternoon. So while I'm waiting for any additional questions, I would just like to share with you all some of the advertisements that I do share during my live streams. And there is a new business that to advertise on the platform, and I want to take this opportunity to introduce them to you all. So this business is one that I think the Spiritual Baptist community would appreciate. And the name of the company is called Grand Essence. It's Grand Essence Limited. And they basically supply items that are used in our church services. So whether it be candles, red lavender, eternal lights, camphor, bottle candles, excuse me. They have a variety of different items that persons can utilize. So you all can feel free to check out their Facebook page. They are currently on Facebook. You can check them out on Facebook. And, feel free to like and share the content on their page so they will be able to, be exposed to different persons. As I said, it's a new page. It is very, very new. It was recently started just this week. So your support will be greatly appreciated. So you guys can check out Grand Essence and give them your support. So one of the other persons is Lily of the Valley Spiritual Baptist Church. They have their pilgrimage, in-house pilgrimage, on the 21st of May. So you guys can check out that as well, Lily of the Valley. And we have Sister Peggy Macmillan, who does handcrafted candles. You can check out as well. You can get your normal bottle candles, stick candles, as well as scented candles. So you can check out Sister Peggy Macmillan for your candles. And the name of her company is YR Chemi. The God that lights my path, take care of me. I see sister, I'm not sure if it's sister or brother Isaac indicating you talent. I think that would be an excellent thing to get into as well. So I would work at that and I will put it down as one of the projects to work forward to doing. Pleasant good afternoon to Sister Patricia Alfred. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. So yes, guys, feel free to put your questions or comments in the comment section. Any type of program that you like to see going forward on the radio station, as well as if you have any questions for me as your guest tonight on Baptist Building Business. Another upcoming event that we have is my home church, St. John Spiritual Baptist Church, has a 3-day revival on the 6th, 13th, and 20th of May. So for those of you who are interested, you can either come down to the church or you can tune in on Facebook and YouTube for the services. On Facebook, you will have to go to St. John Spiritual Baptist Church page, and on YouTube, it will be via the Spiritual Baptist Radio page. So you can check that out for the live stream of those revival services. We have 3 power pack speakers who will be coming to deliver a word, and I pray that all will be blessed. All those who join in will be blessed by those words. Pleasant good night to Raquelmi Joseph. Blessings to you. Thank you for joining us tonight. So one of the other questions that I would have on my list of questions here is, what is the hardest part of being an entrepreneur or a business owner? So one of the challenges in being a business owner sometimes, or for me, is clients. Sorry, excuse me 1 minute. Sister Candice, the revival services start at 9 a.m. Revival services start at 9 a.m. on Saturday. So yes, back to the question of the hardest part of being a business owner. So for me, one of the hardest parts of being a business owner is putting myself out there in terms of the services that I offer to persons. I am not the most forward of persons. So where some persons will walk up to you on the street or walk up to you randomly and say, "Hey, my name is so I have a business. Would you be interested in being a part of it?" I think that is one of my weaknesses, and my challenge in building a network of persons to be able to help grow the radio station. How do I currently deal with that challenge? So currently what I do in dealing with that challenge is, on my current place of employment, I try to interact with random persons who I may not know already, to get accustomed to talking to the random person. Also, if I go visiting different churches, if I come across somebody who I may not know, I try to interact with at least one person. It's not always easy because I prefer my comfort zone of just being anonymous. However, it is necessary in able to grow the radio station to the envisioned product that I would like to have it go, and what I believe that God would like it to be at, where persons are better off with it. So, for example, our motto or my vision for Spiritual Baptist Radio is to help persons go spiritually, not grow as a quote unquote Christian, not grow as a quote unquote spiritual Baptist, but to grow spiritually, in the sense that the relationship between yourself and God is not one of a carnal nature, it's not one of a theoretical nature or theological nature, but one more of a spiritual nature, where persons have a better understanding of the Bible. They also have a better understanding of how we ought to worship God and what we ought to do in how we worship God, because there is a right way and a wrong way in everything. And the aim is to grow out the knowledge of the Spiritual Baptist community, so that persons would not be operating in ignorance, but on a better understanding. I do know and understand that I would not be able to broadcast everything about the Spiritual Baptist faith. And I do believe that there are some things that ought not to be broadcast when it comes to the Spiritual Baptist faith. There are some things that should be kept within Spiritual Baptist circles, So for those who participate or who are active spiritual Baptists, they would have knowledge of such. But for persons who are not everyone understands. So there are some things that we can expose the wider public to on this type of forum, and there are some things that we cannot. And for the things that we cannot expose persons to in this type of forum, I think the forum for those type of exposure is more one-on-one or in-person setting where persons could ask questions and be properly edified into the practices of the spiritual Baptist faith, because we are easily misunderstood. We are easily confused and everything else. So to avoid confusion or misrepresentation, not everything would be able to be broadcast. Remember, guys, you can put your questions in the comment section, and you also your suggestions in terms of what you would like to see or how you would like to see the radio station grow going forward. Just a little bit of information for those who may not know. Spiritual Baptist Radio is also on TikTok. For those of you who may be on TikTok, you can follow us on TikTok, where we also post the snippets of singing or preaching, as well as on YouTube. We have little snippets of preaching from different persons. So you can feel free to subscribe to the YouTube page. Please know that there's no charge for the subscription. So please don't hesitate to like and subscribe to the YouTube page as well. So one other question that I have here is, how would I define, or what would I consider success for my business? So in terms of Spiritual Baptist Radio, what I would consider success is it being a legacy. Whereas if I die, or when I die, I should say, that it is still able to live on, where persons can still utilize it and have the maximum benefit of it that it was designed for. That is what I would consider a success. So let me just share with you as well as I await some more questions. So as I said, I have ads from different members of the Spiritual Baptist community that I do normally share during my live streams. And this one is from Sister Naomi, who does lovely loaves of bread. So you can contact Sister Naomi to get your bread, whether it be white, oat bran, or whole wheat. And the number is on screen. You can message her to order your bread. Let me tell you, it is some of the best bread you will ever eat in your life. And this is not me being biased because that is my sister in Christ, but anyone who has eaten her bread will tell you that she makes some of the best homemade bread that you would ever, ever, ever eat. So, feel free to contact Sister Naomi to order your bread. And as I said, I have my own little business, or my own business, I should say. Let me not call it little. CJ's Lawn Maintenance Services. I'm currently without a vehicle, so I only do persons in my area, which is in the Aruka Rima area, due to my lack of transport. However, as soon as I get back transport, I would be able to facilitate or assist anyone who would need to get their loan maintained wherever they may be in the island of Trinidad. Let me also input that one of the other businesses that I do, which is CJD Solutions, you can also check them out on Facebook, where I sell vitamins as well as household cleaning products. I also, so for example, one of the products that I sell is this Pursue Broad Spectrum Spray. It's a spray, a deodorizer, disinfectant deodorizer spray that you can spray and it kills germs and odors, as well as it helps with any cold or flu-based viruses that may be around. It helps kill 99.9% of these viruses. So for example, during COVID or even cold season, I tend to spray it in whatever room that I'm in to help kill whatever germs that may be in the area. I also sell like toothpaste and mouthwash. So for those of you who may know, this is Glister. Sorry about the glare. Glister toothpaste, and there's also the mouthwash as well. I also sell those as well. There's also different vitamins that I also sell to help persons boost their immune system. And as I said, we have the household cleaners. So we have glass cleaner, bathroom cleaner, multi-purpose cleaner, um, kitchen cleaner, and disinfectant cleaner. The prices are from $50 down to $30. So you can check me out for those as well. So we have a comment from Sister Veronica Harry. Blessings to the young people and the Baptist radio station going forward. Thank you very much. Same to you. Brother Chester asks other businesses I'm involved in. So as I just highlighted, I do CJ Loan Maintenance Services. I also do the vitamins, household products. I also have facial products as well. And in the near future, God be my helper, I will also be doing transport services. I'm halfway to the point of being able to open my own transport company. So that will be another avenue open going forward, whether it be transporting persons for pilgrimages or transporting persons for field trips, or even as small as one person trying to get from point A to point B, whether it be airport or anything of the sort. That will be another avenue that I'll be embarking on in the future. So we have another question here from Mother Anna. Have you ever done any broadcasting with any of our other Baptist organizations? Yes. So I have done broadcasts. So last week, not when I say organizations, are you the archdiocese or just churches? So let me answer both. So I have done broadcasting for different churches. I have done Thanksgiving broadcasting of Thanksgiving services for different churches. I've also done recording of services for different churches as well, where they would have requested that it either be recorded or live streamed. And I have also done graphic work for different churches, as well as um, in the process of doing live streams for different organizations with throughout the Spiritual Baptist community. Um, one of the organizations that I have worked with thus far is the West Indian United Spiritual Baptist Sacred Order, which is actually the first archdiocese to be established within the Spiritual Baptist faith, Trinidad. And so far for them, I have done their graduation ceremony, which was earlier this year. I have also worked along with their youth arm, which is, forgive me 1 minute while I get the proper name. So what I did for those events is that I would have done the artwork for the program in terms of their Facebook posters, as well as overlays, which would be as signage during the program, and broadcasted the program live. And after broadcasting the program live, also take video clips, different aspects of the program, to post both to Facebook and to YouTube and TikTok as well, where other persons will be able to see what these functions and be able to give their support to these organizations, because at the end of the day, it is important to support each other. One other organization, I would say, not follow an organization, but person that I would have worked with is the Lewis family. I would have recorded their first prayer brunch last year. That was in July, and I would have posted clips and all of the clips on YouTube and on Facebook. This year they would also be doing the prayer brunch once more. So I would also like to be part of them again this year in order to share that content to the wider Spiritual Baptist community. Yes, my brother Sidney Fasby, which is the foundation for the academic advancement, of Spiritual Baptist youth, and that is also affiliated with the Sacred Order. So, these are different organizations that have utilized the service so far. So it's not just myself and persons we see, but also the West Indian Spiritual Baptist Sacred Order, as well as FASB. Pleasant good night to Sister Joanne Cummins. All the way from Ghana this afternoon, and she's sending greetings to us. Hope all is well with you. Keep safe. So recently, on the 22nd of April, I would have broadcasted our Thanksgiving service for Mother Jillian Gums. The graduation ceremony was on the 18th of February, and that was at the Herman Paris Spiritual Baptist Southland School of Theology down there in Labre, and that was also broadcasted live. So persons could even go back now and tune in either via Facebook or even on YouTube, and they'll be able to see those programs that would have been broadcasted. Pleasant good night to you, Sister Naomi. Blessings to you. So this, guys, is the Sister Naomi that I just referred to when I said that you can contact her to get your bread. some of the best bread that you'll ever eat. So this is my beloved sister Naomi. Thank you for joining us tonight. So I would have also done some other graphic work, which I would share with you guys tonight. Because I've done graphic work for persons outside of the Spiritual Baptist community as well. And this is this is, I shouldn't say just to be able to, but this is also part of the services that I offer. Pleasant good night, Reverend Mother Bernadette Claxton. Thank you for joining us tonight. Blessings to you. So last year for Shouter Baptist or Spiritual Baptist Liberation Day, I would have done a flyer and I would have reposted it this year for Spiritual Baptist Liberation Day. So this is some of the art that I have done thus far. My apologies, I'm experiencing a little technical difficulties tonight. This is one of the other flyers that I have done, L&L's Food Delicacies. This is for a barbecue that I would have done last year as well. As well as this one for one of my other Spiritual Baptist sisters, Sister Shanice. She has her exceptional locks and enchanted flair business as well. As much as possible, I do try to promote the other businesses that are a part of the Spiritual Baptist community. And if you know anyone who has a business and is a Spiritual Baptist, feel free to, suggest to them that they can contact me, and I would also be willing to help advertise their business, as well as anyone who may have any upcoming functions in the Spiritual Baptist fraternity or the Spiritual Baptist community. You can send me your flyers and I will be willing to advertise your businesses as well, because as I say, it's all about growing each other's business. And one thing that I learned while doing network marketing, there's a phrase that they said, a rising tide raises all ships. So it's not about one person trying to make it and leave everybody else behind, but as much as possible, you try to assist as many people as you can. And this is one of the other flyers that I would have done for one of my other sisters as well, Sister Tori, who does catering as well. So, as I said, as much as possible, I try to facilitate as many people as I can, try to assist so that persons will be able to grow as well and not myself alone. So, with that being said, I want to say thanks to all those of you who have joined us this afternoon. If there are not any other questions, I would look to wrap up this segment for tonight. As I said, feel free to leave your suggestions for programs going forward in the future. you can send that information to me via WhatsApp, via email, or you can comment on this current live stream and leave whatever suggestions. And what I would additionally do is make a Facebook post so persons can leave their suggestions on that Facebook post as well. And even if you are interested in having a program on Spiritual Baptist Radio, feel free to contact me as well, and we would organize and put something in place, all to the honor and glory of God. Anything for the edification and the upliftment of the Spiritual Baptist community is why we are here, to be able to provide that avenue that persons will be able to utilize. One of the other things in me closing, that we be working on moving forward as well, is to organize a recording studio for the Spiritual Baptist community, whereby we can record, whether it be singing, drumming, other different types of instruments being played, record our music, so that what would have initially brought this Spiritual Baptist Radio idea to fruition, or the initial concept or thought, was that persons being able to have music while exercising, be able to play that Spiritual Baptist music while they drive into work, play Spiritual Baptist music while heading to church. And I know that there are some churches that would have, or churches and persons actually, that would have made CDs already. And one that I know about for sure is St. Crispin Spiritual Baptist Church Choir. They have CDs that they would have recorded, both Spiritual Baptist music as well as Spiritual Baptist themed music, and even African music, so that they would have had CDs recorded with that sort of content. We endeavor to continue the process in where we be able to facilitate persons who would be interested in recording any sort of, whether it be hymns, sankeys, or even reading of the spiritual, of the, sorry, not spiritual, but the Bible. All that will be facilitated in the recording studio as well. So you can also look forward to that coming in the future as one of the projects that will be attached to Spiritual Baptist Radio. And as we continue to grow, we will continue to keep you involved and keep you as a part of everything we do, because as I continue to say, and I will always say, this is a we platform. It's not about me. You may see my face for now, but in the future you may tune in and you would not see Kristen Dalrymple hosting a program. You would see someone else hosting programs. You would see other persons carrying on live services. You would see other persons doing prayer lines. You would see other persons doing educational programs to be able to help children, or anything of the sort. We endeavor to do it here, so that persons wouldn't have to go elsewhere to get content, but all those who are part of the Spiritual Baptist community will be able to come right here on Spiritual Baptist Radio and be able to be edified both carnally and spiritually, so that we be able to continue to grow as a community where we be unified, and because we know in unity there is greater progress. So tonight I want to say thanks to everyone who tuned in. Feel free to like and share the stream. As I did ask before, please also check out Grand Essence Facebook page. It's a new business that would have recently started on Facebook. And you can check them out, give them their support. You know, they sell Florida water, rose water, you know, anything that you need. They also have oils for your eternal lights and whatnot. So you can check out Grand Essence on Facebook and give them your support as much as possible. The next broadcast of Baptist Building Business will be held next week, Monday. So next week, Monday at 7 p.m., we will have our next Baptist Building Business Broadcast. And on Saturday, please God, or for the month of May, I should say, for the month of May, there will be no Sabbath school, which is a program that I normally do on a Saturday afternoon. There will be no Sabbath school for the month of May, as my church will be having their revival service. So we would not be having any Sabbath school for the month of May. However, we would have the Baptist Building Business Program, which will be on a Monday afternoon. And as we increase our programming, you would be notified what other programs we have coming up. And for those of you who would like to be on our broadcast list, who are on Facebook or who follow us on Facebook, you can message us at the radio station number 7646703, and we would add you to the radio station broadcast list, so you'll be notified of any upcoming events that will be held at Spiritual Baptist Radio. One question for those of you who are currently tuned in at present. One idea that was suggested is that we do hikes or field trips for persons within the Spiritual Baptist community. And I would like to find out from you guys, all those who are tuned in at present, what are your views in having extracurricular activities, or a radio station hosting extracurricular activities, not just for the Spiritual Baptist community, but even for the youths, because we know we need to have something to keep the youths engaged, so they are not drawn away by those things that are going on in the world. So we can have other little activities to help keep our youths engaged. So those of you who think it's a good idea, feel free to give me your feedback. And anyone who is interested in participating, feel free to reach out as well. And all to the honor and glory of God. So one more time, I just want to say thanks to everyone for joining us tonight. Have a blessed night, everyone. Be safe. And we will see you on another episode of Baptist Building Talent in the near future, which will be next week, Monday, please God. Stay blessed, stay safe, and may the grace of God continue to dwell around you and within you. In no other name but in Jesus' almighty name. And as we log out for tonight, as I said, one song from the St. Crispin Spiritual Baptist Church Choir that I truly love is a song called Undaunted. Let us move forward, being undaunted by whatever may come our way, whether as a business owner or whether as a spiritual Baptist, whether as a Christian. Let us continue to remain undaunted by whatever the devil may throw at us, in other name but in Jesus' almighty name.
want to be there, my Lord. I want to be there, my Lord. I want to be there, my Lord. On the morning train to Jerusalem. 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 On the morning train.